Hello everyone, this is Geetha Priya from R.M.D.E. Engineering College. In this lecture, we will be seeing about the concept of normalization, this BCNF and 4NF. To know elaborately about what is normalization and what is 1NF, 2NF and 3NF, kindly refer to the previous video lecture of normalization. In this lecture, we will be seeing about 4NF and 5NF. So to quickly tell about what is normalization, the way of organizing the data in the database so that no redundancy of data should be there, and also to eliminate the anomalies like insertion, update and deletion, we will be going for normalization. How to make a table to a normalized form? For that you will be dividing the larger table into smaller one, and two different smaller ones are joined together using a foreign key to give a relationship between both the tables. So now we'll see what is BCNF. So BCNF, to make your table in a BCNF, that is Boise code normal form, two conditions. The first condition is your table should be in third normal form. First of all, your table should be in third normal form. If it is so, you check for the next condition, which is functional dependency. Functional dependency is nothing but when a prime attribute depends on a non-prime attribute. So that kind of situation will be calling it as a functional dependency. We'll see with an example. So in this table, three columns are there: ID, subject and professor. Here, if you want to take ID as a primary key, it will not give you a unique value because you can see here one item is present two times. It means one particular student can enroll for multiple courses. So here ID and subject put together is taken as a unique column, that is a composite key to identify the rows uniquely. So the thing is, one student can enroll for multiple courses, and same courses, here you can see Java is the same course but taught by two different professors. So same subject will be taken by two different professors also, but one professor can handle only one subject. So the dependency goes like this. So professor is not going to depend upon the subject, but subject is going to depend on the professor because same subject can be taught by multiple professors. So depending upon the subject and depending upon the ID only, we will be knowing which professor he is. So here ID and subject is going to be a prime attribute because both are coming at a candidate key, but professor is a non-prime attribute. So in this example, the non-prime attribute, which is professor, is going to sorry for the thing. Subject is going to depend upon the professor. So subject is a prime attribute which is going to depend upon the professor. As we told before, same subject can be taught by two different professors. So subject is going to depend upon the professor here. So subject is a prime attribute and professor is a non-prime. So prime is going to depend upon a non-prime attribute. So this case is called as a functional dependency. So if it is in your table, this thing will not be coming under Boise code normal form. To normalize this table, you will be dividing the table into two. So the first table will be professor and subject, professor ID and subject ID. Sorry, the first thing should have a student ID. It is not PID. That will be as a student ID. The simple thing, you will be dividing this into ID and which subject the student is going to take. So the table 1 will be ID and subject, and table 2 will be professor and then subject. So this is how the larger table will be divided into two. So the next one is fourth normal form. The fourth normal form conditions are: the first one, it should satisfy the Boise code normal form, and then if it is satisfying the BCNF, the next thing you have to see is whether it is having multi-value dependency or not. So multi-value dependency is, in this example, you can see Y and Z. If it is coming under flower bracket, two or more attributes are coming, then that means that this is a subset. So subset of Y and Z put together is going to depend upon X. But in multi-value dependency, this both are put together going to depend upon X, but Y and Z are not dependent upon each other. When both depends upon put together depends upon another attribute, but that both doesn't depending upon each other means that type of situation is called as multi-valued dependency. So in this example, employee ID, department and hobby. Here, if you want to check hobby of an employee, you can see one employee is working on two different departments. So both department is going to depend upon employee ID and hobby of the employee is going to depend upon the employee ID. So both department and hobby are depending upon one attribute, which is employee ID. So we can say that department and hobby is a subset now. Put together, this subset is going to depend upon employee ID. But you can see here department and hobby are not dependent upon each other. It doesn't mean if employee is in HR department, he should be having this hobby. So that does not goes like that. So hobby and department are not dependent upon each other, but put together this both are dependent upon employee ID. So this case will be called as a multi-valued dependency. To normalize this, we will be splitting the table into two. So the first table will be employee and his department. So so this employee depending upon this department. The next table is employee ID and what is his hobby. So this both are linked together using the employee ID. So this is your fourth normal form and how it has been normalized. Thank you.